first glance, the trunk of the Rallye 350 doesn't look too bad. The Super Stock 2 wheel is held down wrong. I'll have to make some changes there. The mat isn't torn, it's stained in a few places, and I just decided to redo it. Here you can see with the trunk lid, the 3 studs on each side for the spoiler, shows that it's a factory spoiler. And here with the trunk mat removed, you can see what the trunk floor looks like. Thankfully there's no rust, but the trunk floor was sprayed with undercoating, and so that's going to give us a little bit of a problem. I tried thinners and different solvents to try to dissolve the undercoating, and it didn't phase it at all. So what I decided to do is take some laundry detergent, scrub everything down real good to get all the dirt and debris off, and then I decided I'd try to seal it. And the left side rear marker light was broken, so I bought some new lights, new marker lights. Here everything's cleaned up, and I'm getting ready to seal it. And here's what it looks like with the undercoating after I cleaned it up. You can see it's still tacky, and I just couldn't do anything with it. I bought some seam sealer and redid the factory seams. Bought some Rust-Oleum truck bed coating, and I thought to use that to cover up the undercoating that was sprayed in the trunk floor to try to seal it up. And I gave it a couple coats. It did a pretty good job. I had a couple spots that were still tacky afterwards that I had to give them a couple additional coats. After everything was painted with truck bed coating, you know, it looks pretty good. And I have a pretty good foundation for moving forward. I removed the marker lights on each side and the back, taped them on the outside, and then I was pretty careful how I taped them on the inside, and you can see the shadow of how they were taped off in the past. And the line you see, below the line I'm going to paint truck bed coating, and then I'll remove the tape, and then of course everything beyond that will be sprayed with spatter paint. I finished with the truck bed coating, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. I taped off the inside of the car where the divider is, so I'm going to get ready to start using spray paint. And what I did is I used some semi-gloss black, and I sprayed the inside of the quarters, and I also sprayed the divider for the trunk. My thinking for using the black paint was if I get the spatter paint a little bit thin in some spots, then the black will show through rather than what was previously in the trunk. And here you see the jack needs some love. It's rather rusty. So I'm going to remove the ratchet head from the leg, and we're going to try to soak everything and clean them up. You can use Purple Power and Evapo Rust. I bought a PVC tube, cut it to length for the jack leg, and what I'm going to do is fill the tube full of Evapo Rust, and then set the leg down inside and let the Evapo Rust do its thing. And here you see the tube's full and the jack leg is down inside there. For the ratchet head, first step is to soak it in purple cleaner and get all the paint off of it. I let it soak in there for several days. And while those things are soaking, I'm going to go ahead and coat the trunk with spatter paint. I bought 4 cans, I used them all. And it sprayed real nice. It was real nice and even, no tiger stripes. worked really well. Pretty happy with the finish. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, back to the jack. Well, the ratchet head is soaked in purple cleaner for a few days, and you can see the paint's all gone. Plenty of rust left, though. So what I did is filled up a small tub with Evapor Rust and put the ratchet head in there. And I'll let it sit in there for 3-4 days. I pulled the jack leg out of the tube, and there's some pitting, obviously, but there's nothing you can do about that. I coated the tire iron in chassis black, and here I have the tire iron clips in place. Painted the jack leg with metallic satin nickel. I mean, it's not the correct finish for it, but for a spray can, it's close. It looks pretty good. Looks a lot better than rusty. And here you can see, after soaking in Evapor Rust for a few days, the ratchet head cleaned up really nice. And, just like the leg, there's pitting in there where the rust was. I painted it with a light gray, and similar to the factory color. Not exact, but it's similar. And here you can see they're reassembled, and it's a vast improvement. It looks pretty good. And here I have the trunk mat and the correct hold down for the super stock wheel, the coated tire iron, jacks put together. Looks pretty nice. Got me a white oval for the spare. I got the trunk mat in, and now setting the jack in place and getting ready to button it up. Here everything's tied down. Looks pretty good. And turned out pretty nice. Well, I got the new marker lights in the rear quarters. They look nice. All done.